Hi guys, I thought it was about time I did an update for my Kickstarter backers, and I wanted to show you what I've spent the last month or so working on. And you might be wondering what this is in front of me. Well, this is a contraption which is crucial for me to be able to make sunglasses like the ones I put together earlier perfectly every time. The centre of the sunglasses has a piece of brass laminated in there which gives a lot of rigidity to the frame. This piece of brass is laminated between two pieces of solid denim, like this. The temple arms, or the sides of the glasses, are made up of lots of pieces. So in there we've got a piece of machined solid denim, a steel spring which goes inside of there, another piece of solid denim which has been laser cut and etched which goes on top, and then some brass pieces which all fit in here. A steel hinge gets assembled into that. So the result of that is a temple arm which is flexy, like this, and therefore a pair of glasses which is comfortable to wear. The hinge area of the glasses has been a real challenge to get right. Now, it's made up of several pieces. Again, this is the main part of the frame, machined out of solid denim. Now there's these little pieces here. These are also machined out of the same material. They assemble together, which I'm going to do in a minute on the contraption which I'm about to show you. Okay, the first part of the assembly is the brass piece in the middle of the frames. So I've put the frames in place. This is the Kepler frame, which some of you may have ordered. There's obviously other frames which would fit into different parts of the jig. So this goes in here. I'm going to add some glue. And then next goes in the piece of brass, which I'm just going to poke down into place. Okay. Now, on top of that we put another layer of glue. And then to sandwich it in nicely, we've got this piece of laser cut solid denim. Again, I'll just poke it in place. I'm going to clamp that down in a minute, but first I need to add the brass pins into the assembly. So I'll just snip that off there. Snip the second one off there. Okay, now this clamp gets put in here. Now I'm going to get my hands in the way as I try and wind it tight, like that. And then to clamp it all shut nicely, this comes down like this. So, just to bring you back to a pair of finished glasses, that's putting this brass piece in, clamping the laser cut and etched denim over the top, and putting the pins in place. Assembling the centre of the frame was the easy part, really. Now the difficult part was assembling the hinge components. So to do that, I've developed parts of the jig which move in all sorts of directions, like this. Now there's rulers and protractors around so that I can set the jig in particular ways for different frame shapes. So for example, if I get the finished pair back again, this angle here is crucial for each frame shape so that they fit comfortably. As well as that, this angle is also very important. To achieve those angles, I've got adjustable parts of the jig. The first thing I need to do is put glue into the recess that's been milled or machined into the frame. So in goes the glue. The next thing I need to do is dip the tip of the hinge into that glue so that we've got a little bit of glue on the hinge. And then I take a tiny little piece of the machined solid denim, which I've got to put on the right way round, which is this way. That fits onto the metal hinge like that. Now, that gets pushed into that recess, which is filled full of glue. I'll just use my poker again, there we go. Now that's down, this metal clamp comes all the way down, clamps it in place. Now, I take another piece of machined solid denim, just add a little bit more glue into the joint there. Okay. I take this other piece of machined solid denim, which fits nicely over the tip, the zigzag tip of the temple arm, and then it fits into the frame like this. I need to clamp that in place. So there's this lever arm which comes round from this metal part, from this metal clamp, and I need to clamp that shut. So everything's clamped shut there. However, I need to finish this side by bringing this moving part in, and then moving the jig until it's aligned with the temple arm. It's roughly aligned now. I can add my magnetic clamp like this, and now that it's kind of roughly clamped in place, I can just align the jig a little more precisely to the measurement which I need to align it to, which is there. This spins round, tighten that, give it a once over, and that looks good. So now this side is done. Now for the second side, it's the same process, so in goes the glue. Dip the tip of the hinge into the glue so that we've got a little bit of glue there to attach, which way around does it go? Goes that way around. To attach this piece of solid denim. Right, that's in there. This goes into the recess, like that. Down comes the metal clamp. Onto the hinge. Clamp it down. We've got the other piece of machined solid denim, which is going to go in here in a moment, just after I've added a little more glue. There we go. This fits over the tip of the temple arm, like that. This closes down onto the frame. Around comes my clamp. Now that's all secured together, but again I've got to move in the big part of the jig to make sure that the glue sets whilst the temple arm is at exactly the right angle. Right, first things first, get the magnetic clamp to roughly pin that in place. There we go. Now, I need to make sure this is exactly the same as the other side. Let me do that. It's close. There we go. Okay, tighten her up. make sure it looks okay, which it does. And there we go. That's all clamped, that's all ready to dry. It should take about 10 minutes to dry, at which point I can take it out and I'd be ready to make my next pair in this jig. Okay, 10 minutes or so has passed and the glue should be dry, so I'm going to take the frames out and show you the result. Okay, here we go. So I'm happy with the result. You can see that the centre of the frame has laminated nicely there. The hinge meets together with the frame, sorry, the temple meets together with the frame very nicely at the hinge. And crucially, both temple arms are aligned nicely so that they meet together, exactly in the right place, like that. Okay, so we've got a very rough pair of sunglasses here, which have an awful lot of work to do to turn them into a finished pair, which will end up looking a little bit like this.